Hey, what's up, Monte Gang? It's your boy JT, and I'm back again with another freaking video. Listen, bro. So today we about to be reacting to my boy, one of the best. His football content is fucking insane. It's Kai the Beach Kid. What the hell was the 2025 NFL regular football season / postseason, man? Y'all know I'm a big football fan. Listen, this season was full of surprises, full of disappointments, and also a lot of things was going on with different people. This one team would beat this team, and then a team that you don't expect it to get there is there. Like my Carolina Panthers. Y'all need to put some respect on their name. Bryce Young, stamp that shit. Put some respect on them boys' name, man. Listen, I'm not gonna hold y'all up too long because it's a 30-minute video. So you know y'all what we about to do, man. We ain't gonna hold none of this up. We gonna go ahead and tap into this reel right now. Listen, man, if y'all haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you can get each and every video that your boy drop, man. I love y'all, man. Let's tap into this video, man. 2025 was crazy, man. We on the 2026. And this year should be a better year where the Panthers going to win the Super Bowl. Let's do it.
The year is
2025.
The Eagles were coming off one of the most dominant Super Bowl wins the league had ever seen. Their 40-22 blowout of the
BTA on the Chiefs, man. Jalen Hurts was in his bag, man.
In the aftermath, a critical light shined on Kansas City. After a second straight subpar offensive season, analysts questioned the Chiefs' lack of explosiveness and...
My thing is, bro, everybody doubting the Chiefs like Patrick Mahomes ain't going to win the Super Bowl in the next 4 or 5 years. The man is literally a top 5 quarterback right now. Literally. He might be outside of the top 5 at 6 or 5, but he's literally in my top 5. My 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback ever. Number 2, you got to put Joe Montana in that bit. Number 3, you got to put Peyton Manning, the 3rd greatest quarterback of all time. 5 regular season MVPs. Nobody has ever done that. Number 4, John Elway. He's a dog, bro. If y'all haven't seen John Elway running skills, mans is a dog, bro. He started this mobile quarterback shit. Like, not saying he was started the running of a quarterback, but he can take off and run whenever he wants to get extra. Y'all ain't see that run he had in the Super Bowl versus Green Bay? Disgusting. Was that Green Bay? That might have been the other team, but I think it was Green Bay. And number 5, man, I got Patrick Mahomes, number 5, bro. Like, he got 3 Super Bowls, bro. 3. With 3 MVPs. Like, he gonna be back and better than ever, bro. I'm telling you.
Weapons.
Just give him some help.
Mahomes heard the criticism loud and clear, as did Andy Reid, and the loss planted a massive chip on their shoulders. But Mahomes' greatest rivals, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow...
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, real quick. Stop making excuses for Josh Allen. I don't want to hear that bullshit no more. Stop. Because he's never gonna get there. If he couldn't do it this year, he ain't gonna get there. He ain't gonna get there. He ain't. The same criticism y'all have for LJ, Lamar Jackson, had that same criticism for Josh. Simple. He had a chance then to get there, and he blew it. Come on, man.
And Lamar Jackson had their own points to prove after years of gutting and the Patriots turned to a familiar face by hiring
Mike Vrabel
as their next head coach. A 3-time
Vrabel was in his bag, boy.
Vrabel returned to Foxborough after a successful
yes, sir.
The Tennessee Titans. Known for toughness, situational mastery, and accountability, traits forged under Bill Belichick, Vrabel's arrival was a
Belichick and Kraft should be in the Hall of Fame.
2024. Fast forward to the NFL draft.
Cam Ward was number 1 pick in the draft.
The Titans, but Jacksonville made the boldest move by trading up to number 2 to select Travis Hunter, a 2-way Heisman superstar they believed could reshape the franchise and possibly the sport. The Jags showed conviction by sending a massive package to the Cleveland Browns that included a 2026 first. New head coach Liam Cohen and new GM James Gladstone viewed Hunter as a player worthy of a first-round grade at receiver and corner. So the plan?
I'm going to be real with you, man. I think Travis Hunter need to switch to cornerback full time and they need to have packages where he be receiver. Because either way, you're going to get paid on the side of the ball with his explosiveness. Yeah, I know he had that ACL injury, which is very early in his career. Didn't even play a full year, man. It's a blessed recovery. I seen he got a family going, then he dedicated his life to God, just like me, man. God first do anything that you do. But I think Travis Hunter going into the next season, Jacksonville needs to put him at corner and then put packages where he can be a receiver. Maybe have him in a second down package, in a third down package where he go deep. Maybe he can have a season where he 7 interceptions, 10 pass breakups, and then on the other side of the ball, you got about 40 catches for 700 yards and 6 touchdowns. Use him effectively. Don't have him play here and there, But like they say, they don't know if his game is going to translate to the NFL, just because college is different than the pros. In the pros, they're actually scouting for you when you're the option and you're on that scouting report. They can track what you do and have a game plan input just for you.
Start him on offense, expand his defensive role, and build an identity around a true modern Iron Man.
Right.
But the story of the draft was not who went first.
Shedeur!
Kept falling. For months, it was predicted that Shedeur Sanders would land in New York. The Giants.
He should have been a Jet. Honestly.
And he got traded back into the first round, igniting brief certainty that
Them boy got Jackson Dart.
Instead, they stunned the room by selecting Ole Miss QB Jackson.
I think Jackson Dart is definitely quarterback of the future for the New York, because he fits that. Him and Shedeur fits that New York culture. And Jackson Dart, next year you need to learn how to slide before you be out more than you be in.
Dart, sending Sanders into a free fall. Round after round, he was passed up until the Browns traded up into the 5th to grab him at a steep discount. A prospect once discussed at the top of the draft wasn't even the highest QB drafted by his own team, sparking theories of bad interviews and even conspiracy to keep him out of the league entirely. But Seattle got their franchise guy by signing Sam Darnold to a 3-year, $100 million.
Sam Darnold was in his bag this year.
Belief that his 4,300-yard, 35-touchdown breakout.
Well, I knew the Vikings. I think that was probably the worst move in NFL history. The man took y'all on a 14-2 season, and you mean to tell me, oh, we gonna let him walk? At least bring him back for one more year. The man went damn near, won his division, won the Super Bowl. It don't get no better than that. And if I'm Seattle, I'm throwing him a bag. If I'm them, I'm franchise tagging Kenneth Walker. I'm re-signing. I'm giving JSN a bag. Devin Witherspoon getting the bag. And you probably, y'all gonna lose some of them defensive pieces. But if y'all keep that core together, y'all will be all right.
Season in Minnesota was for real. So with Darnold gone, the Vikings turned the page.
J.J. McCarthy.
After the entire rookie season with the torn meniscus, McCarthy stepped into an environment.
He was injury prone in college.
So quarterback friendly, it was nearly impossible to fail. Washington entered the season coming off their best year since.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something about Jaden Daniels that y'all really don't understand. Injuries is a part of the game, yes. And the way the Washington handled him this year by not protecting him, I think they gave him enough weapons because he had Ertz. They took too long to sign Terry back. That messed up the chemistry at the beginning of the season. Debo was in and out of the lineup. Their defense wasn't that good. The secondary, well, Marshawn Lattimore, I think they're going to cut him. But I think the thing is for Jaden Daniels this year and the Commanders, I don't agree with them getting rid of Cliff Kingsbury because he had so much success with Jaden Daniels his first year. And the play calling of Cliff Kingsbury is fucking insane. My best friend Peter, he's a Commanders fan, which Cliff Kingsbury just joined the staff of Matthew Stafford and the Rams, what is going to make them more even dangerous, in which is crazy. But I think the thing is for Jaden Daniels, for the Commanders, if I'm them, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I would go sign David Njoku. Also, I would try to trade for Garrett Wilson. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Just because give Jaden Daniels, y'all know he's going to be the future quarterback for the Commanders. Why not pair him with a future receiver like Garrett Wilson? Because Terry McLaurin probably got at least 5 to 7 more years in the league. Which you got your running back, 22, Merritt. He's nice. Like the Washington, I think Washington will be back in the playoff contention. I think they will battle with the Eagles for the division. I think they get in as a wild card. But I do like them chances. JD going to his 3rd year, coming off that injury. I think the thing is, Danny Quinn, you got to be mindful of what you're doing with your star quarterback. He should, after that Seattle game, he should have never been back on the field. I understand he needed reps. His fucking arm was like a chicken wing, bro. It was a damn chicken wing. Let him sit. Let him recover. But you put him back in. Then he got hurt again versus Minnesota. So there goes that.
1991. 2024's number 2 overall pick, Jaden Daniels.
But I do think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in his 2024 class. You can argue Caleb Williams or you can argue Jaden Daniels, but I think Jaden Daniels is. Was Jaden Daniels? Oh, let me check. Yeah, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Michael Penix Jr., JJ McCarthy, Bo Nix. I think out of all this group, Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in that draft.
Rekindled the franchise, winning Offensive Rookie of the Year.
It's a fucking dog, man. He's a dog, bro.
NFC Championship appearance. The Commanders extended Terry McLaurin.
Too late.
And traded for Deebo Samuel, enhancing Daniels' dual threat prowess.
Yep.
But while Daniels took home the hardware, his rookie classmate Bo Nix and the Broncos were generating even more buzz. Ahead of schedule under Sean Payton, Nix won 10 games as a rookie and ended Denver's playoff drought. Confident about his QB, Payton spoke openly about Super Bowl.
Hey, y'all really think New England was going to beat Denver without Bo Nix? The fuck out of here. They put up 10 points. A healthy Bo Nix? Come on, bro.
Backed by a loaded defense and veteran additions. But Chicago landed the crown jewel of the 20 cycle in Ben Johnson, the offensive
Detroit turning around, boy.
Attack. After grabbing Colston Loveland and Luther Burden with his first 2 draft picks, he looked like the franchise.
He was cooking.
Would finally revolutionize a Bears offense
Studs.
flag for decades, unlock Caleb Williams, and beat Matt LaFleur twice a year. But as training camp opened, Williams struggled adjusting to Johnson's system. Reports of growing pains, interceptions, and questions about maturity occupied the headlines. Chicago's rebuild, even with the right hire, would demand patience.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube.
I think Caleb Williams, he's going to be special. But I think the thing is for them, they have to be able to know when to not be aggressive and when to be aggressive. I think that's one of the reasons what's wrong with my Panthers team. Dave Canales, just because you make it work on 4th down doesn't mean you go for it on 4th down. In certain situations call for different things, you know?
Caleb wasn't the only one learning that physical talent alone does not put you...
Anthony Richardson, bro. I got some advice for you, brother. Hang it up. Your time in Indy is done. Daniel Jones dang near took that team to the playoffs last year. You're done, buddy. I'm sorry. I love Anthony Richardson. He resembles Cam Newton in so much way at Florida. He played only I think under 10 games. Big, strong, physical, arm strength, talent. Got all the potential in the world. But can't capitalize, bro. That's the thing about when you're drafting an NFL quarterback. I've been watching football all my life, and I hear people say, oh, this guy has great potential. He has this upside. But if he don't put the work in, he's not going to be good. Simple, man. You got to put the work in to be good, bro. In Indianapolis, it was supposed to be his team. Daniel Jones signed a 1 year. Something should have told you, Anthony Richardson, if nothing didn't drive you or motivate you this year, when the Colts gave Daniel Jones, I think it was a 1 year deal, almost $15 million. Maybe this guy coming to take my spot. And he did, and you're never going to get it back.
The fast track, though. After a competitive camp, Indianapolis named Daniel Jones the Week 1 starter, beating out former 4th overall pick Anthony Richardson.
I'm telling you.
Jones, signed to a 1-year prove-it deal, offered things Richardson did not. Availability, steadiness, and command of the offense.
I'm telling you.
But you know who's been pretty reliable for 2 decades?
Matthew. Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
A 1-year deal late in the offseason with the Steelers.
If I'm Aaron Rodgers, should you hang it up? I don't think so. I think Aaron Rodgers does got 2 years left in him. If I'm him, you might as well go back to Pittsburgh. If I'm Pittsburgh and you're trying to be a new face, I would let a lot of people have been like, on First Take, it was like, re-sign Aaron Rodgers, which I'm all for it, him and Mike McCarthy, but why not, if you're going to sign Aaron Rodgers, don't draft the quarterback. You have a quarterback on your roster in Will Howard, who went to Ohio State, who's played in big national championship games. Like, develop him into that starting quarterback, and it can fall into the tree. Brett Favre did it for Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers did it for Jordan Love. Aaron Rodgers can do it for Will Howard. You see what I'm going here? Domino effect, bro.
At 41, Rodgers framed the decision as a situation that felt right, built around trust in
Mike T.
An iconic franchise. A franchise that just 1 month earlier,
George Pickens.
volatile star. Pittsburgh sent George Pickens.
George Pickens went to Dallas is crazy, though. Like, I think he's going to get franchise tag. If I'm him, Jerry Jones, if I'm Jerry Jones, you want to pay George Pickens, but your secondary is horrible. Offense win games, defense win championships. Remember that. But George Pickens, if I'm George Pickens and I'm a free agent next year, if you want to go anywhere, I would say come to Carolina because that's just me being biased. But if I'm George Pickens, I'm taking my ass to Washington. Jaden Daniels, you got a mobile quarterback who can throw the football down the field and who's going to throw the football to you.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Or Buffalo.
Out on the uber-talented but loose cannon receiver. Pickens could dominate corners one snap and completely sabotage.
Yeah.
A pattern that eventually wore out his welcome. Now paired with CD Lamb, the Cowboys'
disgusting
scenery and a contract year could bring out the best in Pickens. The writing was on the wall for George Pickens the moment
DK Metcalf. He really didn't have the year I expected him to.
$150 million extension to be the offense's primary explosive threat. But just as fans were dreaming on a lethal Cowboys offense, Jerry Jones nuked all preseason excitement.
He messed up when he traded Micah Parsons, bro.
Of the generation. After a prolonged contract dispute, Micah, a.k.a. Michael Parsons, was sent to the Green Bay Packers for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark. Losing him made everything else feel secondary. And in the Sin City, the Raiders hired Pete Carroll and I think the rest of his family to rebuild their culture. His first major moves were to reunite with Geno Smith.
That's his first mess up. When the Raiders hired Pete Carroll, his first move said, yeah, let's go sign Geno Smith. Just because you had success with him in Seattle, you already had stuff input there. You had DK Metcalf. You had a Kenneth Walker. You had a good defense. You had Tyler Lockett. You lost Vegas. You got Brock Bowers and you got Ashton Genty and Max Crosby. That's it. If I'm him, I would have drafted Shedeur Sanders and built for the future. Maybe you would have still had a job.
Had historically productive Boise State back Ashton Genty with the 6th overall pick. All right, quick real-life story.
You ain't about to get me with no ad, brother. You can pay bills. I need to pay bills too. September. Hey. Oh. Football, baby. September.
The Chargers wasted no time. Opening the season
belt to 8 to the Chiefs, man.
Justin Herbert outdueled Patrick Mahomes in Sao Paulo.
And listen, all I'm going to tell y'all is Justin Herbert and Josh Allen is the same damn quarterback. I don't care how much potential, how much upside you got. Josh Allen, okay, Josh Allen is an MVP quarterback. I get it. He's a dog. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's top 3 or top 4 when healthy. Top 4. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. That's 4. That's them. That's them. They're elites. The elites. But, bro, Justin Herbert, bro. Every playoff, he gets there and he nuts up. Every time he gets to the playoff, he does it. Texans, he had 3 picks. Horrible game. Who else? What else game? I think the year before that, he played bad in the playoff game. This year versus the Patriots, couldn't get it done on offense. Like, when it's enough when you're going to say, maybe it's, okay, I done went through a different coach. I done went through a coordinator. I have the weapons around me. I have Lad McConkey. I had what's number 1 name? Quentin Johnson. I got a veteran in Keenan Allen. I have a good running game. I got a defense, but is it me? Yes, it's you. You're the quarterback. You got to get it done. This is a quarterback-driven league, and you can't get it done off mediocre play, bro. When the playoff time come, your real true colors show who's that guy and who ain't that guy. You see what Jaden Daniels did at Tampa Bay 2 years ago? He went down there and dropped his nuts down below. Literally, he didn't play. You saw my quarterback, Bryce Young, went toe-to-toe with Matthew Stafford. Playing up to your competition, you're playing down to your competition. Pick your choice, bro.
318 yards and 3.
Or you're just going to be another guy who's very good and could have been great, but never meet expectations of being that guy who we think we are going to be.
To snap a 7-game skid against KC. And after a decisive Week 2 win over Vegas, LA rallied late against Denver with a clutch Keenan Allen touchdown before Cameron Dicker's walk-off kick.
They were cooking.
Start. But in Week 4, they
Jackson Dart.
After opening 0-3, New York made the switch to Jackson Dart for his first career start, just 2 weeks removed from Russell Wilson torching Dallas for 450.
Hey, that week 2 game versus Dallas, Russell Wilson was letting that drop. You hear what I tell you? Him and Malik Neighbors, hopefully pray that Malik Neighbors came back from a beautiful ACL tear that I can't stand. Players are getting hurt more and more now, and it's very crazy. I think this is the second injury on that field, that like a non-contact injury, which is insane to me. But Leak and Russ was cooking. I would like to see Leak and Jackson Dart like at full health with Cam. Cam Scatterbull also got injury too, so the Giants need to be very cautious about those injuries and just don't rush it back and just be able to let them do what they got to do.
Yards and 3 touchdowns. Dart brought instant energy, scoring once through the air and on the ground as the Giants handed LA their first loss to earn their first win. Though it came at the cost of Malik Neighbors, who tore his ACL in the second quarter. Dart's debut ignited optimism for the future, unlike J.J. McCarthy, whose nightmare debut in Chicago turned into a signature moment when he threw 2 touchdowns and ran for another to steal a Week 1 win over the Bears. But in Week 2, Atlanta tormented McCarthy with 6 sacks and 3 turnovers. Shortly after, Minnesota announced that a high ankle sprain would be sending him to injured reserve. Officially, it was an injury. Unofficially, some theorized it was a soft benching. Carson.
Hey, Minnesota organization, let me talk to you real quick. If the man was injured in college, what do you think he's going to be in the NFL? Tua Tagovailoa had 2 concussions in college. 2 or 3. In the NFL, he's had 3 or 4. Injury prone. J.J. McCarthy was injured at Michigan. He had a 2,000-yard rusher in Donovan Edwards in the backfield, and he had a stud defense. All he had to do was not turn over the ball and play good, and he went in the top 10. That's when you go off potential. But Sam Darnold, who was 14-2 the year prior, y'all going to say, oh, yeah, come on, J.J. McCarthy. We feel like you developed for a year. Hell no. I would have signed Sam Darnold and see what we can get out of him. Now I'm Justin Jefferson, even though he had over 1,000 yards, the man had 2 touchdowns last year, I think something like that, but that's crazy.
Over for a 48-10.
And Carson Wentz was cooking with them too.
Were 2-2, as were the Bears, who began 0-2. Got punched first by Minnesota and then absolutely flattened 52-21 by the Lions in Ben Johnson.
It was in their bag.
Detroit, making his new tenure feel shaky fast. But in week 3, Caleb Williams played arguably the best game of his young career, throwing 4 touchdowns.
I still think that's the best game of Caleb Williams' career versus Dallas.
As head coach. A week later in Vegas wasn't pretty. Williams dealt with constant pressure from Max Crosby, and the run game vanished. But a late touchdown drive and a...
Hey, Carolina fans. I don't care. Dan Morgan, let me talk to you real quick. Dan Morgan, David Tepper, Dave Canellis, Ivero Ejiro. I don't care what y'all do. I would trade a first and a second. And somebody go get Max Crosby. I need him. We need a pass rusher, a consistent one. The 3, like I said, the 3 needs that the Panthers need for this offseason. Go check out my video, what I told y'all. We need a pass rusher. We need some more help at the linebacker position. And we need a tight end. Simple. If we get Crosby next to Derek Brown, you talk about scary hours. Come on. The
field goal was enough for the 25-24 win. Thus, the Cardiac Bears were born. A mere warm-up for the madness they would ultimately create in 2025. But Caleb wasn't the only one having success.
Daniel Jones was cooking.
Daniel Jones was reborn.
He was in his bag.
Squeaky clean Colts debut.
That's why if I'm the Colts, bro, I'm giving Daniel Jones 3 years, 60 mil, or 4 years, 80 mil. Throw him a bag because he got Alec Pierce, who's most likely to re-sign with the Colts, Michael Pittman Jr., Jonathan Taylor. And he got a great offensive line, a stud defense. Boy, if I'm them, I'm going back to Indy. Sign me.
8 win over Miami.
But they collapsed in the bottom of the season, though.
That ended with Spencer Schrader missing from 60, only to get a second chance after a penalty to drill the winner from 45. By week 3 in Tennessee, Indy was rolling.
Kenny Moore.
Pick 6 on the 3rd play of the game set the tone, and Jonathan Taylor piled on 3 touchdowns.
Cooking.
But while Indy was busy with their...
And they got Tyler Warren.
Matthew Stafford and the Rams were on their own surge.
Stafford was cooking.
Adams giving Sean McVay a new hammer to swing. Stafford looked totally unbothered by his preseason back scare, and the Rams started 2-0. Even their first loss in Philadelphia was a game they nearly won before it ended on a blocked kick returned for a touchdown. And in week 4 hosting the Colts, Stafford to Nakua tied it late. Then an 88-yard Tutu Atwell touchdown gave the Colts their first loss. And after 1 month, Puka Nakua was on pace for...
Hey, listen, I love JSN, but I thought Puka Nakua deserved Offensive Player of the Year, man. The year that Puka had, and he had a better playoff year than JSN. If you watch that game versus Carolina, the first 2 drives are not about Puka Nakua. Puka Nakua. Puka Nakua. Puka Nakua. Come on, man.
For 2,100 yards and 100.
That is insane.
Aaron Rodgers kicked off his Steelers career with 4 touchdowns. And
this week 1 matchup was fire.
Emerging triumphant from a shootout with Justin Fields. Week 3 in Foxborough, the Steelers defense forced 5 turnovers and a late touchdown in Austin clinched a road victory. Then in front of 75,000 strong in Dublin, an 80-yard Metcalf catch and run, 2 Gainwell touchdowns, and 6 sacks of Carson Wentz made Pittsburgh 3-1 heading into their bye. And the timing couldn't have been better, because AFC North QBs were dropping like flies. Cincinnati's season tilted in week 2 when Joe Burrow went down with a presumably season-ending turf toe injury, and
Listen, I'm not to be the bearer of bad news, but I think Joe Burrow is equivalent to Derrick Rose for real. Like, Joe Burrow had that 1 year where he went to the Super Bowl and was a dog. But everybody can be like, his defense is deep. Nigga, don't you not see what Patrick Mahomes doing? They renegotiate his contract again. He's gonna make his team better. If you're all about winning, I'm all for players getting their money. Get your bag, bro. But don't complain when you be like, oh, I don't have enough help. Go to the front office. You're Joe fucking Burrow. You're making $50 million a year. I need this, and this. I want to win. T. Higgins making 30. Jamar damn near making 40. That's all your money right there. You got to make it make sense, man.
Were outscored 76-13 in their next 2
Bill,
rounding out the center.
Built.
Meanwhile, the Ravens went from scoring 40 in a classic Sunday night loss to Buffalo to sitting at 1-3. But even worse, Lamar Jackson pulled up with a significant hamstring injury in Kansas City as the Chiefs poured it on in Week 4. And at the end of September, just 2 undefeated teams remained. The Bills' 4-0 start, highlighted by their incredible Week 1 comeback against the Ravens, where they overcame a 15-point fourth-quarter deficit, and the Eagles having taken down the likes of the Cowboys,
Yes, sir.
Chiefs, Rams, and Bucks for their
Eagle was cooking.
But neither one of those
Tyreek
teams
Hill?
was as thrilled as Tyreek Hill did.
Tyreek Hill should have never left Kansas City, man. It just didn't feel right. But I think, me personally, 3 teams I think Tyreek Hill should think about going to. Of course, the obvious choice is Kansas City. Denver. Got another team in mind. Underrated team, yo. If I am Tyreek Hill, I will try to go to Green Bay. Romeo Doubs expected to be a free agent. Christian Watson, Jalen Reed. If Romeo Doubs go, bring in Tyreek Hill with Jordan Love.
After a season,
But he can't play in the cold, though.
was all smiles,
He playing in Kansas City, though.
and blowing kisses to the crowd in one of the strangest visuals of the season.
That boy said yes. What was happy? October.
All 3 of the Buccaneers' September wins had come by 3 points or
Tampa
in
Bay.
the final minute. In Week 5 at Seattle, they added another. Levante David's last-minute interception set up a walk-off kick that made them the first team ever with 4 such wins.
Beginning of the season, Tampa Bay was cooking. It was scaring me.
5 games. Baker Mayfield was firmly in the...
Baker was in his bag.
While Emeka Egbuka was off to one of the best rookie receiver starts ever.
He was. He was.
The Bucs were 6-2 after wins over the Saints and 49ers, who, despite that loss, were gritting out wins unlike anyone.
C-Mac.
Brock Purdy was out indefinitely with turf toe, George Kittle on IR with a hamstring, and Nick Bosa...
George Kittle just can't stay healthy. The 49ers medical staff need to go under investigation. Because every year it's always something. ACL, back, foot, knee, ankle, chest, shoulder. Jesus Christ. Like my wife.
Fred Warner gone for the year. Yet Mac Jones kept Shanahan's offense humming. On Thursday night of Week 5 in L.A., missing his entire...
Mac Jones was cooking.
Jones threw for 342
Boom.
yards and 2 scores, while Kendrick Bourne's 10 catches for 142 yards also helped propel the Niners to a 26-23.
He was dying him up.
By the end of October, they sat 5-3, propped up by Jones, McCaffrey, and elite coaching. But their rival Seahawks were 6-2. Sam Darnold was throwing the ball about as well as anyone in the NFL, but Jackson Smith and Jigba was breaking the sport. Through 8 games, he was on pace for over 2,000 yards.
He was cooking. Him and Puka, 1 and 2.
Their biggest statement came on Sunday night in Week 9. Darnold opened 17 for 17 and threw 4 touchdowns before his first
17 and 4 touchdowns is crazy work.
carving up Washington 38-14. But the game turned somber when Jaden Daniels' elbow did its best impression of Tyreek Hill's knee.
Woo!
Just weeks after returning from his own knee sprain, the 3-6 Commanders franchise QB was...
The man should have never been out there. 38-7. Sit your ass down, bro.
Medical limbo after being left in a game that was already over. But during this same time, Drake May was verging on elite, and the Patriots won every October game in the midst of what would balloon to a 10-game win streak. They headed to Buffalo in Week 5 on Sunday night to prove themselves as serious threats in the AFC East.
Yep.
And May was nearly perfect when it mattered.
Diggs was cooking, too.
Pressure on the game-winning drive and feeding Stephon Diggs, who torched his former team for 146 yards to set up the deciding kick.
He did.
With YouTube music.
The 23-20 win legitimized the pass and launched an AFC East race. At the end of the month, even Myles Garrett's 5 sacks couldn't derail them. May threw 3 second-half touchdown passes to erase an early deficit and pull away 32-13.
Belt.
It took a half-decade, but once again, the Pats were great under center and on the
They were
side.
good.
But the Jags were getting that same new coach bump, and their official arrival came in prime time
Against the
versus
Chiefs?
Kansas City, when Trevor Lawrence turned a stump.
Oh, yeah. This was insane. Trevor was in his bag. Hunter.
For a ridiculous 44-yard grab.
Head tap.
The Hunter explosion came Week 7 in London, Yes, the Jaguars got run over 35-7 by the Rams, but Hunter racked up 8 catches for 101 yards and his first touchdown. He led the team in targets, catches, and yards. And during their Week 8 bye, reports out of Jacksonville were that he was about to be fully unleashed as their wide receiver 1 and cornerback 1. But out of nowhere, Hunter was placed on injured reserve with a season-ending non-contact knee injury suffered in practice, ending the most fascinating development in the league.
Literally.
Two-way unicorn, future focal point of the offense. They were building the entire second half of the season.
Come here.
Able to truly take off. It was a rough month for injuries around the NFL. Not only Daniels and Hunter, but also Kyler Murray, Cam Scadaboo's ankle fracture ending what was going to be a monster rookie season, as well as Tucker Kraft. Just 1 week after destroying the Steelers to the tune of 143 yards and 2 touchdowns
against the Panthers.
Night, the ginormous season he was about to have was cut short by a torn ACL in their Week 9 loss versus Carolina, who had their own injuries to deal with. But fortunately for them, once Chuba Hubbard strained his calf, Rico Dowdle stepped
Rico was in his bag. Listen, man, listen. I love Rico, bro. I love what Rico did for the squad. Listen, don't get me wrong, bro. I love Chuba. But Rico was in his fucking bag, bro. I think the thing is, bro, he was like, when Chuba came back from his injury, he was like, should we give it to Rico more? We was giving it to Rico more. Should we? One series. And I didn't like that because the reason why I think Rico Dow should sign back with Carolina, bro, the familiarity of the offense, bro. You know you're going to get at least 10 to 15 carries a game. You and Chuba mix and match, bro. Don't mess up that balance, bro. 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. Don't mess up that balance, bro.
4-4. But despite the Packers' surprising Week 9 loss to them, Green Bay was still atop the NFC North, a half game ahead of the Lions.
Surprising? Who thought it was surprising? I know they could be had. Keep pounding.
A big trade was made when the Bengals, desperate for anyone other than Jake Browning to revive their dying offense, acquired Joe Flacco from the Browns. And Flacco began his Cincinnati.
You gotta show that read option.
On fire, waking Jamar Chase and
he was cooking.
Dead, beating Aaron Rodgers in the week.
Show the read option.
And throwing for 470 yards and 4
he was cooking.
Lost to Chicago, where Caleb Williams hit Colston Loveland.
Yeah, that's the game. That's the game of the year.
With under 30 seconds left. Proving to everyone who prematurely mocked them for drafting Loveland over Penn State's Tyler Warren that they made the right choice.
Yep. November.
Through half a season, the Colts offense was pacing toward historic territory. The peak of their run came Week 10 in Berlin, when Jonathan Taylor ran for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns.
He was cooking.
83-yard house call and the walk-off score in OT to beat Atlanta 31-25. But their November did not end cleanly. Daniel Jones suffered a fractured fibula that he was determined to play through, and with a challenging December looming, they fell to 8-4 after 2 losses. One of which was to the Chiefs, who, despite getting Rashee Rice back from suspension in October, were trending downward at 6-6, dropping one-score games to Buffalo and Denver, before also taking a Thanksgiving loss to a rising Cowboys team.
Yep.
Dallas was benefiting not only from trade deadline acquisition Quinnen Williams, but from George Pickens' stratospheric ascent, having already dominated after...
Hey, whoa! I remember when he was cooking versus us. But they still lost.
Racked up 144 yards at Vegas and 146 versus the Eagles' prior
head tap
over KC. Winners of 3 straight, Dallas was 6.
George Pickens was cooking, boy.
Were on what would become an 11-game win streak. They went 4-0 in November, but won every game by 3 points. They were a somewhat...
That was a dime.
But the Texans' defense was becoming scary. After falling to 3-5...
CJ Stroud, you know you ain't shit for wasting that generational defense. All you had to do is not turn over the ball and play a competent game, bro. You'd have been in the Super Bowl. Probably would have won the Super Bowl. Their defense was so good enough to take you to a Super Bowl. All you had to do was be yourself, bro. You just had to turn it over.
The Week 9 loss to Denver, they outscored Jacksonville 26-0 in the fourth quarter of Week 10 before...
Davis Mills was cooking. CJ, when you was injured, David Mills was cooking.
Tennessee and completely shutting down Josh Allen. Houston went 3-0 in C.J. Stroud's absence before he returned Week 13.
I'm just saying.
Win over the Colts.
I'm just saying.
Deadline edition of Jalen Phillips, the Eagles' defense was no slouch either. They held opponents to just 16 points per game in November, but could only manage a 2-2 record because of a bizarrely dysfunctional offense. The Bears pulled out 3 more one-score wins. In Week 10, Caleb threw and ran for touchdowns in the final 4 minutes to come back against the Giants before a walk-off field goal at Minnesota Week 11. 2 weeks later, they traveled to Philly, picked up a 24-15 win, and the once 0-2 Bears were now 9-3.
Yeah, the Bears was cooking.
But
the Bears was cooking.
The NFC North sat the Vikings.
J.J. McCarthy.
McCarthy's return and win at Detroit. The existence of his alter ego 9 entered the mainstream. But after immediately following that with 3 straight losses and another injury, 9 became one of 2025's great memes. Shifting to the AFC North, Lamar Jackson made his long-awaited return and rattled off 4 wins. But Lamar was without his typical burst, which became especially evident on Thanksgiving, when Joe Burrow miraculously returned to the Bengals and drove their offense to 32 points, while Baltimore could only put 14 on the board against one of the league's worst defenses.
That's crazy.
Still, Cincy was 4-8, while the Ravens were in first place at 6-6. But Cleveland was not without appeal either. Not only was
Myles Garrett was cooking.
Racking up 13 sacks in a 4-game
Shador.
Shador Sanders replaced
Shador.
Week 12 in Vegas.
December. This is when it get nitty and gritty. Talk about them Panthers.
Real Super Bowl buzz.
Should have been talking about.
Bay fell off a cliff from November on.
I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear nothing about Tampa Bay falling off a cliff. Because when Tampa Bay was 5-2, oh, Tampa Bay is going to win the Super Bowl. Baker Mayfield looks so amazing. Mike Evans is not even back yet. Shut up. Did they make the playoffs? Exactly.
4-7 embarrassment against the Rams in
Belt.
Week 2, and a blown 14-point
Belt.
to Atlanta in Week 15.
Talk about the. Talk about them Panthers.
Baker Mayfield likely
Talk about them Panthers. Talk about Bryce.
The NFC South
Bryce Young, nigga.
In Week 18. Neither of which had playoff-worthy seasons, but Bijan Robinson led the NFL in scrimmage.
Atlanta talk all that shit. They got all that talent. They got Kyle Pitts. They got Drake London. They got Bijan Robinson. And didn't make the playoffs again. They garbage.
Yards, while Tyler Shuck impressed mightily after
Hey,
Spencer.
No disrespect on Tyler Shuck for real. No disrespect. I respect Bijan because he cooked us, even though we won. Atlanta fans is always disrespectful to Bryce Young. But Tyler Shuck and the Saints, they had our number this year. When we try to get a little gap in the division, they always brought us back to reality. We need to work on some consistency. He was cooking.
However, Teteroa McMillan was
T-back.
The NFC West was basically a triple threat match down the stretch, but the Seahawks won the division and the NFC.
Yeah, Seahawks was cooking.
By beating San Francisco.
Sam Darnold was cooking.
Sam Darnold sustained excellence, JSN's Offensive Player of the Year campaign, and the league's #1 scoring defense made Seattle the NFL's most complete team. But San Francisco nearly...
Hold on, y'all. Why, Fee? Why you sound like a man?
I'm starved.
You're not starving. Say hi to the camera. Say hi to the mafia.
I'm on my last leg.
Say hi to Monte Gang.
I'm hungry.
I'll cook after the video. Video got like 10 minutes left. Say hi. Back to the video.
1 seed, despite a hospital ward's worth of injuries, was just...
Hey, Phillip Rivers was cooking too. He came back.
CMC caught 102 passes, and the 49ers finished 12-5. The Rams, meanwhile, went 3-3 over their final 6. And in arguably the game of the year, Week 16 at Seattle, the Seahawks erased a 16-point fourth-quarter deficit.
Rashid Shaheed is the reason why they was back in that game.
Game-winning 2-point conversion in overtime. But with 46 touchdowns, Matthew Stafford won his first MVP.
Deserve it.
And while the Cardinals
Well deserving.
Trey McBride set the single-season reception record for a tight end with 126.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Same goes for the 5-12 Browns, who were blessed with new stars in tight end Harold Fannin and Rookie of the Year linebacker Carson Schweschinger.
He was cooking.
And a new record when Myles Garrett recorded his
Myles Garrett.
Defensive Player of the Year. The AFC North, though, came down to the final.
My thing, what happened? Why they ain't put when the Panthers beat the Rams, but they want to talk about Matthew Stafford did this shit. When the Panthers beat the Rams, ain't nobody gave us a fucking chance, bro. Simple.
Game of the season. Aaron Rodgers threw a 26-yard touchdown to Calvin Austin.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if the Ravens got in the playoffs, they were going to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. Shit. Lamar Jackson? Shit. But guess what? That's karma. Because maybe if you had Justin Tucker, you would have been in the playoffs.
55 seconds left to take a 26-24 lead over the Ravens. However, Lamar put them in position to win.
He was cooking.
His 44-yard kick sailed wide as time.
Listen, I watched this game. When Lamar threw that pass with 15 seconds left, I was thinking like, okay, they got a timeout left. Call a timeout. Try to get at least a little bit closer, bro. Because this is a rookie kicker. He's never been in these high-pressure situations. They get us a kick to go to the playoffs. Justin Tucker would have nailed that to the middle.
Days later, owner Steve Bisciotti made the emotional decision to fire John Harbaugh, closing an 18-year chapter that included a Super Bowl, but ended with one of the most disappointing seasons for any team in 2025.
Yep.
The AFC South was tight as well. The Texans and their defense won their final 9 games, but Jacksonville won their final 8, clinching the division as Trevor Lawrence made an MVP-caliber run in December. With the help of Parker Washington and deadline acquisition Jacoby Myers, he accounted for 22 touchdowns.
Jacoby Myers was cooking.
Including 5 passing and 1 rushing.
They should have beat Buffalo in the playoffs, honestly.
While Daniel Jones, one of the MVPs of the first half, tore his Achilles in a Week 14 loss versus the Jags, effectively ending the Colts season aside from a small stretch made entertaining by the return of Grandpa Phillip Rivers. The Patriots became the AFC East champs for the first time.
They put belt the ass to the Jets.
To a 42-10
Who don't put belt the ass to the Jets?
Paired with Buffalo's 13-12 loss to Philly. Vrabel pulled off a worst-to-first transformation that felt eerily familiar in Foxborough, and Drake May was the MVP runner-up. Likewise, Chicago established a new era.
They were cooking.
Rival in town, division on the
This
line,
game was insane.
Franchise QBs do.
Caleb threw that
Chicago trailed Green Bay
bingo.
16-6 with under 2 minutes left. Cairo Santos made it 16-9 before a recovered onside kick and a TD pass
Boom.
to Ja'Day Walker sent it to OT, where Caleb dropped a
DJ
Moore's hands for the game winner, which was the Bears' 6th win after trailing in the final 2 minutes. Chicago won the NFC North. Green Bay finished 2nd but lost Micah Parsons to a torn ACL, while Minnesota finished ahead of Detroit at 9-8, despite enduring the worst QB play in the entire.
That was I could go out there and play quarterback for the Vikings right now. That throw was horrible. He said, just have it.
Hell, even more surprisingly, the Chiefs missed the playoffs for the first time since 2014 at 6-11. The disaster of a season was exacerbated by Mahomes' Week 15 torn ACL. Above them in the AFC West were the Chargers at 11-6,
Overrated.
Injury-ravaged O-line, and the Broncos, who clinched the AFC's #1 seed.
That defense was cooking, boy.
And finally, the Eagles' talent won the NFC East by default. The Cowboys' November renaissance turned out to be nothing more.
What's up with the South? He didn't say shit about the South.
Final 5, including Week 18 to the
Even though the
Giants.
division was ass.
Tumultuous year, losing Neighbors, Scattaboo, and firing Brian Daboll. But Jackson Dart gave all the reason in the world to be encouraged about his future.
He's the future.
More than holding his own with almost no weapons to speak of.
The disrespect. Bryce.
The Rams and Panthers met again after Carolina
Bryce.
upset. In an equally chaotic rematch, Stafford and Nakua traded.
Jalen. Ha.
A block punt.
Get it out of here.
On a late edge, but
Coker.
Stafford answered with a final-minute drive, finding Kobe Park.
Oh, that fucking play. Oh, my gosh, that play. Oh, I hate. Oh, my gosh. Oh, that play. Go. Oh, my gosh. Bro, I think when we scored, it was like 2:31 left in the game. Bro. Y'all should have seen how quick they got to the 20-yard line. It was like bam, 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 bam. By a blink of an eye, they already scored a touchdown. And a lot of people want to blame Jimmy Horn Jr. Listen, I think when we did get the ball back, it could have been some better play calls down the field, even though I think we had one time, and I think we ain't had no timeouts. Bryce overthrew Jimmy Horn, I think, on a corner, but I think they were double teaming Tech. I think we could have gotten field goal range, but to each his own, man. When you score a touchdown like that, your defense should have been able to close out the game. But, hey, we put up a dog fight. We should have won that game.
For the winning score to escape 34-31. Next, the rubber match between the Bears and Packers.
Another blown lead.
To a 21-3 halftime lead behind 3 Georgia.
Hey, when the Packers was beating the shit out the Bears, bro, I went to sleep. When I went to sleep, it was 21-3. I woke up and the Bears won the game. Crazy.
Touchdown passes and a defense that stymied Chicago with turnovers and fourth down stops. But in the second half, the Bears slammed the door. Got fire, and a furious comeback followed. After the third McManus miss of the game, Williams delivered the knockout blow once again with a 25.
Don't blame the kicker. The kicker had a part in this, but you shouldn't have blew a 21-3 lead. It's playoff football. It's different.
Chicago's D sealed their first playoff win since 2011 and reignited the once one-sided rivalry.
Man, Ben Johnson, he's a bum. Yo, what's up? Recording? I'm reacting to the 2025 NFL season. Listen to this hater, y'all. See what you say?
I said that shit ass.
He's a hater. The biggest hater, y'all. And I just complimented JD inside the video, so I took that shit back, y'all.
I best quarterback in the league.
See. I'm gonna call you when I finish recording. I'm almost done. I got 8 minutes left. I'll call you when I'm finished. All right, bro. That's the broski.
But the long-awaited postseason meeting between the Bills and Jaguars was a back-and-forth battle. Momentum swung with field goals, a failed fourth
Shaq
down,
Thompson,
short
former
touchdowns
Panther.
that kept the game tight deep into the fourth quarter. Lawrence and Allen produced 4 lead changes in the closing minutes alone, but ultimately Buffalo converted multiple tush pushes and powered in the go-ahead score with just over a minute left. Then on Jacksonville's final possession...
That throw was horrible, bro. In a playoff game like that, you cannot make a throw like that. Throw it away, Trevor.
And the hottest team in the AFC was bounced in round 1.
Yep.
Sunday afternoon, early
Kittle torn and shit.
George Kittle torn Achilles set the tone for 49ers-Eagles.
Eagles pissed me off in this playoff game.
In the fourth quarter, but Brock Purdy had the answers. And after his touchdown...
Man, the Eagles was too fucking predictable. All they thought they had a lead. Saquon. No, Jalen, throw that shit. Jalen, don't be afraid to use your legs, bro. And just because I think AJ caused a lot of that because of friction. Like, I'm not getting... Yes, they wasn't getting the ball enough. But you can't all blame it on Jalen Hurts. You can't. To
McCaffrey, Philly turned it over on downs on the
Yep,
edge of the
horrible
red zone,
throw.
ending their feeble title defense.
Yep.
And in prime time, the Patriots silenced the Chargers. LA squandered 2 first-half goal line chances and managed only...
Should have kicked the field goal.
Herbert dealt with pressure on 30 of 31 dropbacks. New England slowly pulled away, turning a narrow halftime lead into a 16-3
Belt.
for their first playoff victory.
Chargers are ass.
And on Monday night, after a turnover-laden first half, the Texans' defense...
You couldn't tell me Aaron Rodgers was going to cook this defense. I know the Texans got the good defense, but playoff Aaron Rodgers was different. And he was cooking. Because C.J. Stroud couldn't get shit done on offense. He was turning it over to the defense escape. The Steelers supposed to win this game.
Took over, strip sacking Aaron Rodgers for a scoop score and later adding a pick 6 to break the game.
Pick!
Despite Nico Collins' concussion, Houston cruised to a 30
They were cooking.
win.
Divisional round.
Seventh straight postseason.
He didn't even play good in this game.
Mike Tomlin resigned.
He had 3 picks.
Closing one of the longest tenures in NFL history.
Yep. Divisional round.
Of uncharacteristic Bills fumbles, Denver built a 20-10 halftime lead.
Yep.
And even after 2 second-half Allen touchdowns, Bo Nix hit Marvin Mims to take the lead with under a minute left before a Prater field goal sent the game to a very controversial overtime. A disputed interception ruling and then 2 pass interference flags set up the Broncos' game-winning kick. The mile-high crowd erupted.
We not gonna talk about Josh Allen overthrow Brandon Cooks. I think earlier on that drive, before they kicked the field goal to make it 30-30, he had him on the sideline, almost to the 20-yard line with like 30 seconds left. Could have won the game. Brandon Cooks dropped one as well. Like, Buffalo should have been in the Super Bowl. He will never get it done.
But their elation was cut short when Sean Payton astonishingly announced immediately after the game that Nick's season was over due to a broken ankle on the second-to-last play of overtime.
Damn.
As for the Bills, GM Brandon Beane was promoted, while head coach Sean McDermott was fired after yet another devastating postseason
That's crazy.
exit. But the hottest story became which one of them put
Keon Coleman.
draft second-year bust and cookie-loving wide receiver Keon Coleman.
Bro is not a bust for real. I don't think bro is a bust. I think the thing is like, I think they want to put the blame on him just because they team couldn't get it done. Josh Allen, you make the money. Versus Denver. You try to scramble before halftime, you fumble. You throw another interception, then you fumble again. Like, you can't have that. Don't put all the Keon Coleman. Yes, you got some blame in this. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because you can play better. Just like Xavier Legette. They're the same fucking person. Yeah, you can ride your horses and with your country South Carolina accent like us, I'll get you accent. You can talk like that, bro. But if that shit ain't up in your play, you ain't gonna do nothing, bro. Like, make it make sense, bro. No?
The Seahawks continued on from their dominant Week 18,
Belt.
seemingly ending the game on the
Put the belt to ass to the 49ers who should have never been there.
burying San Francisco. At half, the Seahawks led 24-6, and the rest of the game became a showcase for Kenneth Walker.
BTA.
Seattle won 41-6 and clinched their first NFC Championship berth since 2014, while 49ers brass were tasked with addressing the humongous electrical substation right next to their practice facility that had been Chernobyling and decimating their entire roster for years. The following day, the Patriots hosted the Texans for a punt party in Foxborough. But after a Pop Douglas touchdown, the game morphed into an interception invitational. C.J. Stroud was worthy of being benched at halftime, threw 4 INTs, and looked
His ass should have been benched. I don't care what nobody. I love C.J. Stroud. I think C.J. Stroud is probably one of the best young quarterbacks in the league, bro. But his performance in the playoff was atrocious. It was disgusting. Bro, that defense, I remember the defense, it was early in the game. It was 3-7 for the longest. They kept getting the ball back. They kept giving CJ field position. Interception after interception after sack after punt. Like, bro, oh my.
fit to be on an NFL field as the Patriots defense made a fool out of him.
Yep.
Evidenced by a Marcus
Pick, horrible throw.
Houston stayed alive with field goals, but May just about ended it with a 32-yard pass to Casey.
Tutty.
Somehow hauled it in with one hand for a diving touchdown. The Pats won 28-16, while Stroud ended his postseason with 5 interceptions and 5 fumbles in 2 games.
Horrible.
But certainly not least, Caleb Williams opened his snowy night versus the Rams with an INT,
Pick.
which Kyron Williams took advantage of, capping off an 85-yard scoring drive. Chicago answered with a gutsy 4th down, where the game devolved into a defensive stalemate, broken when Kyron punched in his second rushing
Tutty.
through the 4th, but with 30 seconds
They
left
should have
on
used
4
Kyron Williams a lot
on
more
the line,
in that
he
game
put
versus the
all of his
Rams.
previous jaw-dropping plays to shame, hitting Cole Kmet for a 14-yard touchdown after running back
Throw of the year.
for 20 yards and throwing it 46 yards in the air to force OT.
When he did that, I said, what the?
Caleb's third interception led to a Harrison Mevis walk-off field goal, eliminating one of the
He didn't play well in his playoff debut neither. He had 3 interceptions.
entertaining teams of my lifetime. Thank you, the Bears.
Championship game. The Seahawks.
With Bo Nix sidelined, the Patriots flew to Denver as road favorites. But Jarrett Stidham jump-started the Broncos with a 52-yard strike to Marvin Mims that set up a Cortland Sutton touchdown. But 2 drives later, a failed 4th down rather than a field goal kept Denver's
Sean Payton should have kicked that goddamn field goal.
to 7. Late in the half, a chest pass to absolutely no one by Stidham was ruled
That was horrible. Take the sack.
leading a Drake May rushing score that tied it at 7. Snow and wind took over in the second half, so the Patriots managed only a field goal for a 10-7 lead. Missed kicks and Broncos field goal attempt kept it there before a late Christian Gonzalez interception.
My thing is, bro, don't blame the kicker for missing the field goal. Early in the game when you had the 7-0 lead, you know in the playoffs points come at a minimum. You got to take your points while you got a chance. Kick the field goal, bro. Damn. Hate dumb coaches. Them coaches.
But the NFC Championship was a classic. After the Seahawks and Rams split
Rashid Shaheed,
matchups,
K. Walker, K9,
Matthew Stafford threw for 3 scores.
Kyren
responded with 3 of his own. JSN shined with 10 catches for 153 yards and a first-down touchdown, while Puka Nacua went for 163. A pivotal swing came early in the third when Rams returner Xavier Smith muffed a punt.
Special teams are messing them up all year, bro.
Later, a Tariq Woolen taunting penalty kept a Rams drive alive, and on the very next play, Nacua burned the defense for a deep touchdown. Still, Seattle's defense held firm in the red zone late. Darnold then drained the clock, and LA ran out of time.
Super Bowl is boring, bro.
After the Patriots won the toss, they deferred, and the Seahawks took the ball first. Seattle moved it well early, highlighted by a 23-yard strike to Cooper Kupp, but stiff red zone defense.
You couldn't tell me Cooper Kupp wasn't going to win Super Bowl MVP. He was cooking
New England's
early.
opening drive showed brief promise before Drake May was dropped for a 10-yard sack by Derek Hall.
Yep.
Sign of trouble to come. The first half became a field position battle. Kenneth Walker ripped off runs of 30 and 29 yards on one drive to set up another.
The Super Bowl was very calm.
Seattle added a third field goal in the final seconds before halftime. The Seahawks led 9-0, having controlled tempo while the Patriots' offense failed repeatedly against a relentless pass rush. And that pressure defined the second half. After a New England 3-and-out, Seattle drove 69 yards, mixing short passes with nice runs, and Myers drilled his 4th field goal to make it 12.
He arguably could have won a Super Bowl MVP for all the points he had.
This time stripping him with Byron Murphy recovering. Early in the 4th, Sam Darnold converted 3rd and long to Kupp,
A.J. Barner
tossing a 16-yard touchdown to A.J. Barner to tighten Seattle's grip at 19-0. New England finally answered with a lightning-quick 3-play drive, May hitting Mac Hollins for a 35-yard score, but any momentum vanished quickly. On their next possession, May was intercepted by Jordan Love on a terrible deep shot, and Seattle turned that into Myers' Super Bowl.
The lights was too bright for him. I posted that when he threw that pick.
Forced another May fumble that was returned 45 yards for a touchdown, tying a Super Bowl record with Seattle's 7th sack. The Ramondre Stevenson touchdown that followed was mostly just for pride. Their onside kick failed, and that was all she wrote. The Seahawks defense, swarming and opportunistic, earned widespread praise, as did Sam Darnold for completing his draft bust to Super Bowl champion redemption arc, while Kenneth Walker's 135 rushing yards secured Super Bowl MVP honors. Now let's relive what happened the last time this...
Listen, man, that'll be the end of that video, man. Listen. I'm ready to see what the 2026 season got in store, man. Listen, we got the Combine coming up. So I think the Combine starts tomorrow. I know my coach and my GM talking at the press conferences tomorrow. So I think the Combine is this week sometime. I'm ready to see. Free agency is in 2 weeks. We get to see who signs where, who's get traded, who's going to get picked up. It's a lot of things going on, man. If y'all are new returning subscriber, don't forget to subscribe to the video. If you haven't already, like the video, comment down below. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We out. Peace.
I swear I'm living my dream. Live it up, live it up. I understand you a 2000 baby and you kinda wild. Live it up, live it up.